Hey guys, welcome to Bellwright. For those of you who are new to the game or just want a review, you come to the right place. To start, let me tell you how I went about the start of the game and some things I wished I would have done differently. First, you're going to want to search the area for items left behind. The thing that just popped up was just the history, background story. So once you've searched the area pretty well, the first thing we're going to want to do is get to our map. We're going to want to go to this place right here. We're going to want to talk to the elder. I personally like the game. I like the layout, the fact that you have to search for your own food, supplies, stuff like that. This game definitely requires you to have help from people within the village. There's bandits, wild animals like boars and wolves, and the bandits, especially when you get further into the game, you will not be able to handle them by yourself.
Hungry and down on luck.
So this is the first person we need to go talk to.
Stop wandering around. I think we need to talk, traveler. You're a new face around here, and new faces showing up rarely ends well for this village. I have a duty to my village first and foremost. I need to know who you are and why you came here. Looking for answers, huh? In a perfect world, I could give you all the information you need and you could be on your way. But speaking openly can be a death sentence these days. As long as you're asking questions, you're putting us in danger. No, but you have my permission to build a shelter on the outskirts of the village. Come back once you're set up, and maybe you can earn your keep.
Alright, so now I was just telling you how to make a building and the keys to building, whatnot. So this is where we started off at, and I prefer to do a base up here. Later on, we're going to want to make a base down this way. So we're going to want to find wood and flex. And you can find wood all over in the woods, just laying down. However, before we use that wood to build a house, we're going to use it to make an axe first. And for that, you're going to want stone and wood. So we got to find stone and wood. So the reason we want to build an axe first is it's a lot easier to cut trees down than finding all the tree limbs that are down. And when you go to cut trees down, you want to look for something that says young tree and not sapling harvest, because that just gives you seeds. Also, you don't want to go up to a tree like this. Oh, sorry, that's a young tree. A tree like this, because it'll just give you logs. And starting out in the game, you have no use for logs. So for now, we just want to go for young trees and wood that's fallen down. And the reason I built my house up here is to stay away from bandits from the start of the game. But later, we will move our operation, and it'll be alongside the road, and alongside the road is where most bandits go through. So this is your private chest. Anything you get to put in here. Whenever you hire people, they will not be able to touch it. Food. If you starve, it's not going to affect your health. However, what you do eat will give you more health and more stamina. So, for example, this one right here will give you an additional 60 health and additional 20 stamina. And this right here will give you additional 8 health and additional 20 stamina. And of course, you can eat up to 3 different items, but you can't eat 2 of the same items. So after we built our house, we're going to want to build a campfire. For that, we're going to want stone and wood. So get some more wood. And see if we can find some stone. So, for this, starting out, the only thing we're really going to have is mushrooms that we can cook. But as you can see, these are all the options you have to cook with the fire. So now, we're going to go look for mushrooms. Alright, so once you have your mushrooms, the typical thing, you're going to want to add wood, make fire. And then add your mushrooms. So once you get all your mushrooms, you're going to put it on the fire. And when you go to put it on, whenever you look at it, it's like a analog clock. It's going to go all the way around, and that lets you know when it's done. And you can burn your mushrooms and other food too, so long as there's a fire. Once the fire goes out, if it's not done cooking, then it won't cook anymore. You have to add more wood to the fire to make it cook. So something else that we're going to want to do is make a public chest, so that we can add your food there, especially for when we start getting a camp chest, so that way we get more people, they have a place to store the food and whatever else. Alright, so if you look at your food, it has these things right here at the bottom. It's kind of like a expiration date. So if you have them individually, they will all expire at the same time. But as you see, if you put them over here, they stack up. And when they do that, it's like this one right here. Instead of, let's say, all three expiring over here, you'll have only one that'll expire over here. And this is especially important to do for the winter time, because when winter comes, you won't be able to get any of these items. So you're going to want to keep them in this camp chest to keep them lasting longer. And it's also good to throw as much as you can in here instead of in your inventory, so that way you can carry more each time you go out and come back in. Alright, so now let's go ahead and go back to the Elder and talk to him.
Let's talk. You again. I'll tell you what. We actually have one problem you can try to resolve. If you're willing, of course. It gets cold around here, especially close to the mountains. If we want to keep ourselves warm, we need fur for it, rabbit or wolf pelts, but you see our hunter. Well, we got into a little discussion about how things should work in the village regarding payment. He doesn't want to work with us anymore, but Herndeen mostly depends on him to provide. I want you to convince him to deliver traps. If you can bring us rabbit fur too, that would be very much appreciated. But we can't expect you to do that every day. We want to be self-sufficient with our fur trapping. So the priority is the traps, and the rabbit fur would be a bonus. Take care of that, and then I will consider your request. Go speak with Amelie. She's a bit of a troublemaker, but her heart's in the right place, or so I have to tell myself. She has a good relationship with everyone in the village, and knows nearly everything that goes on around here. If anyone can point you in the right direction, it's her.
Let's go find Emily.
Greetings, newcomer. Say, have we met before? Your face is awfully familiar. I am. What can I do for you? Unfortunately, he's in the forest, just up the hill, not far from the village. Perhaps bring a book so you have something to do while he rants at you.
I heard a strange howling in the woods last night. Gave me chills.
Did you hear that? What are you looking for? It's dangerous to wander around the woods alone. Haven't you heard about wolves or bandits lurking in this area? You don't look like the hunting type. So what are you doing here? Ha! The people in Herndeen? Of course. Now they need me. I'm not going to work with them. Dobron has no respect for my craft. He doesn't value everything I've contributed to that damn village. And until he does, they can fend for themselves. You're asking for help, but you don't know a thing about me or what I went through. I used to be a respected member of the community. I even could have been an elder if I wanted. But they degraded me because I refused to be a slave to Ashbourne's puppets. So I left. I still tried to contribute from a distance, providing them with fur, food, and creating traps for the sake of the village. But they wanted more. When I asked for better pay, the elder said no and actually warned me not to ask again. At one point, he said he'd speak to the brigands about my behavior. It's not about wealth. It's about the threat, the disrespect they've shown me. I'm sick of talking about it, to be honest. I need some change in my life. Let's make an arrangement. You need traps, and I can teach you how to make them so you can catch smaller animals. You look like someone who can get things done. I don't know why, but I feel like you have a lot going on inside your head. I'm willing to join you if you provide me with shelter and food. Together, we can make each other's lives easier in this land. So, can we cooperate?
Follow closely. Stay together.
Alright, so now we're going to take him back up here. So, when we go to make rabbit traps, instead of making 3, we're actually going to make about 5. 3 for us and 2 for them. And the reason for that is so we can catch more rabbits and have more meat and pelt. Alright, so let's go in first. Make a housing tent for this guy. Alright, so this is where the logs come into play. Whenever you're ever out roaming around and you see these red dots, luckily they'll show you if you put your mouse over it. I'll tell you what it is. In this case, they're wolves. Right now, we don't want to mess with them just yet. Mostly because we're weak right now, and we don't stand a chance against 3 wolves. So, avoid it. Let's avoid it.
Forward!
Alright, so now
Follow me! March
we
onward!
have a house for him. Let's go ahead and go over some of his stuff. So here you can make him work, make him your companion, which that's what he is right now, or you can make him guard your area. We're gonna let him work. As a worker, we're gonna have him primarily
I feel it's going to be a good day.
cooking, and the second thing will be construction. We're gonna come up here, put our food in there.
So far, we're doing great work, don't you think?
Alright, next thing we're gonna want is a research desk. That's gonna be important.
So far, we're doing great work, don't you think?
Alright, so the first thing we want to do is search a small trap. And we're also going to come
The
over
village
here.
is looking better and better.
And now that we can, we're going to go ahead and make researches number 1. Delivery, keep that as 5.
Happy days, all thanks to you. Happy days, all thanks to you.